Well, hello again. I did a few castle wall puzzles the other day, and I got some good feedback. Sounds like people enjoyed those. And one of the comments that I got was from Pullman Poppin saying, "I love this genre. Thanks for sharing. I highly recommend this one by, we're gonna say Fzaz or Fzos, Fzaz. It's tough but beautiful." And I went to go check and make sure this puzzle had been, shared publicly. And I found it on Fzaz's Twitter page right here, Castle Wall Puzzle. So I am going to try this one out today, and we'll see how it goes. Tough but beautiful. Sounds like fun. So here it is in Puzzlink. Castle Wall rules, just a quick refresher. We're drawing a closed loop, something like that. Can't have any intersections, can't have any crossings. And the numbers indicate how many line segments are in that direction. So this 1 here means there could be 1 right there or 1 over here or something. The 7 means you have to have 7, I don't know, something like that, whatever. And normally we would say white cells have to be inside the castle and black cells have to be outside the castle. But today they're all gray, which means we don't know if they're white or black. They could be either one. And that is the rules. Link in the description as usual. I'm going to give it a try now. Let me hit refresh to restart the timer. And here we go. So they're gray, which means you don't know if they're black or white. But really, anything along the edge has to be black. Because there's no way for the wall to go outside around one of these out. So these outside ones are black. Now the others, we don't know if they're white or black. They could be either one. Now normally the first thing you do is you kind of get your freebies, your little starting points by, if this 1 was white, we could say, oh, there has to be a line, in there. Or if this 4 was black, we could say, oh, you can't go in between these. But we don't get any of those freebies today. So let's see. What do we know? Do we get any freebies because we're using the maximums? I don't think so. There's a few that are close. Like this 4 only has 5 possibilities, and this 3 only has 4 possibilities, and... Okay, so now let's look at... We've got these 3s pointing at each other. 1s are pointing at each other. So the 1s, now that's interesting. So one thing we do know, there's essentially kind of, I guess, 2 categories of possibilities with these 1s. So either there's a 1 somewhere in between the 1s, right? And then there's going to be X's on the outside. Or there's a line on the outside on both sides, because this line over here would use all of the 1s for this, all of the segments for this 1, which would put X's through the middle and would force this 1 to use the 1 out here. Now the other interesting thing is with these little 2-cell kind of cubbies, I don't know, corners over here, these little segments, if we have a line segment right there, for example, it forces us to turn and come back out, which is going to force this to turn. And it's kind of the same way on all of these, I think. Yeah, they're all going to have that same thing. So once we have a line segment, it forces several other line segments. And if we have an X here, if we get a line segment in between the 1s, it's going to force an X next to it as well, because if you come in here, you can't get back out. And the loop has to be a complete loop. So I don't know if there's a line segment or an X out here, but I do know it's going to force quite a bit of other stuff to happen. Now the other thing I noticed is this 1. So if we do come in and out, that's going to use up our 1. So we can only use 1 of the 3 kind of little cubbies, I guess I'm calling them, on this side, and 2 of them on this side. Now we don't have any indication at the top and the bottom of how many of those we're using. But, if we, for example, end up using this 1, it's going to force us to come back out over here. So, all right, so what do we need to look at? Okay, so that's the 1s. The 3s have a similar kind of thing where if one of them has a line segment on the outside, they both have to have it on the outside. And if one of them has an X on the outside, they both have to have an X on the outside. What about this 3 and 2 looking at each other? What does that tell us? So, right, we have to have at least one in here, because we can only get 2 down here at most. So there's at least one in here, which means there's 1 or 2 in here. We can only have 1 up here. We can't use 2. We can have 0 up here, and we have to have at least 1 down here, because we can only put 2 in the middle there, obviously. So there has to be at least 1 down here. Okay. What other ones are looking at each other? Ah, the 3 and the 4. The 3 and the 4. Okay, so we can only have 3 below the 3. So the other one that the 4 picks up has to be up here. And then that gives us the turn and all this. Also, though, we now know that we've used 1, so there has to be 3 more above the 4, which is going to use all of the line segments for the 3, so we're going to get X's down here, because this X from that, and then the next X, because the X's have to be next to each other. So then what do we do? There's 1 of these cubbies and 2 of these cubbies. Are there any more that are pointing at each other? 3's the 1s, the 2 and the 3 and the 4. Oh, okay. Yeah, that's cool. It's not quite the crosshair logic that you get in Castle Wall sometimes. It feels like a cousin of the crosshair logic, I think. So the crosshair thing is if you have, like, say, a 6 and a 7, and the 6, and they cross each other, and the 6 only has 7 possibilities, and the 7 has 8 possibilities. Because of the crossing, forcing you to lose 1 in each direction, 1 crossing in each direction, it gives you the rest of the line segments. This isn't quite the same thing, but look at this 1 and this 1 and where they cross here. Now, what's interesting is this 1 pointing down. If we have the top segment, it puts an X there, and this has to turn one direction or the other. Alternatively, if we use the bottom one, it puts an X at the top, and this has to turn one direction or the other. Either way, you're turning left or right out of this cell, which is going to use your 1 line segment for this one. So we can X all of these, and then X... Oh, wait, nope. Got to be careful. It doesn't X this one, because it's on the other side of the 1. It only gives us the X's this direction. But we can put an X here. And now we're really limiting our options for which of the 2 cubbies we're using up here. And this is kind of where... So I like PuzzLink a lot because it's kind of purpose-built for the puzzle type you're doing. This is just Castle Wall. There's no extra stuff. So Penpa's great too, and some other ones, but Penpa sometimes has too many options, right? And you're like, oh, which line segment thing am I choosing? Because it's trying to be useful for every puzzle type, which is also great. But sometimes this being limited to just its puzzle type means you can't do some extra notation. Like what I'd like to do is this cell right here. We know we're going to come in and back out that way or this way or this way. We don't know which way. So I can't really notate that. I can't put a line. I can't put an X. I'd like to put, I don't know, color that cell or put a circle or a dot or something in the middle, kind of to indicate that there's you're going in and out and you're turning. So that's just, I just have to remember it, but that's one of the limitations of a purpose-built solver like this, is you don't have some of those extra things that you would have in another one. So anyways, tangent over. Let's get back to solving this puzzle. Let's see. Oh, right, right. We said this 3. See, again, this is where some extra notation could be helpful that might make it more crowded. It's hard to say. But this 3, we said, had to have at least 1 down here. Now, either one of these 2 that you use, it's because of these x's, is going to force you to go up. So now you're using 2 of the 3. So we know there's 1 in here. Again, it's the same kind of deal as down here. We got to go in and turn, right? And we're going to go in and turn up here as well, because there's got to be 1 here and 1 here. But the 1 in here, the key point is this is going to come in and turn one way or the other, either like that or like this. But we're using up our 1 in the middle here for both of the 1s. So we can put x's all the way around here. That gives us more x's. And now we know we're using this cubby up here for this 1, which gives us some more line segments there. And we know we have to use 2 of them up here, which is going to be these. And now we know this is coming up here and back out. Now we don't think we know yet if it goes up or just turns. But we can do that much. And then what do we do? So the 3s. We still don't know. If this comes up, then we know there's 1 down here. But I don't think we know that yet. So where do we look now? So there's almost the same thing here, because we know there can be at most 2 here, so there has to be at least 1 here. But I don't think, but there could be 2 here. No, there can't. There can't. Okay, right. Same. This is really cool because it's the same logic being used in multiple places in the grid. So because we can only have at most 2 here, we have to have at least 1 here, right, for this 3. But similarly, we can have at most 2 here, and so we need at least 1 here. Well, you can't use 2 here and 1 the other direction, and you can't use 2 here and use 1 the other direction. Since we have to have at least 1, we can only have at most 1. Because either one of them being 2. Now this is essentially the crosshair logic, right here. Yes, this is the crosshair logic. I was just mentioning it. Okay, it's just a little bit harder to see because we have these boxes in the way. Usually it's kind of more open. So this 3 is pointing down, has 4 possibilities. This 3 is pointing left, has 4 possibilities, right? So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 total. But if this crosses here, you take away 2. And if this crosses here, you take away 2. And you can only lose 1 in each direction. So you have to lose the 1 for both directions in the same spot, essentially. Ultimately, it tells us that we can fill these in. Hopefully that made sense. It's a hard thing to understand, but yeah, hopefully that was a good enough explanation. So we know then that we're going to have another, again, I'd like to put kind of a circle in here. So we've got a circle there, a circle up here, 1 down here. We're getting a lot of these things. Now, are we going to have the same thing over here with the 3s? Probably. But I'm not sure. We don't have the ones pointing across it to do quite the same thing. So let's see. Where do we go next? So there's 1 here. 1 here. 1 here. We've got a bunch of these little crossings. We have 4 of them now, actually. Here, 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 and here. And there's going to be one in at least one of these, at most one of these two, actually. Because you're either going to have one that's 2 cells and then a single, or they're both going to, or one of them's going to be a single with the lines at the outside edge. Maybe we need to look at these longer ones. How many options do we have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. This one has 11 possible. So 5, 1, 2. So yeah, you were right. This is a tough one. Now can we say, I'm not sure if we can. I was going to say, we've already got one of these 3 here. If we go through there, it'll use up our other 2. If we go through here, it'll use up our other 2. But we don't know for sure that either of those is going to be used. So I don't know if we can say, I was thinking that if we could say one of those 2 has to be used, we could put some X's in there. But I don't think we can. So what can we do? What can we do? Can this... Yeah. We've used 2. Oh, okay, yeah, this 3. Here we go. There's just too many places to look here. This... Yeah. Yeah, so this 3 here. We've got 1, 2. The third one is going to be either here or here. We don't know where, but it's going to be used up by this. So we can actually put X's the rest of the way across there. Now that's going to be helpful. Because now we know we can't even come down here because there's no way to get back out. So essentially we know this 3 is a black cell. This 4 is a black cell as well. Since you can't get a line between these other blacks and that cell, it has to also be on the outside of the wall, making it black. Now... Two, yeah. Oh, so the one right here, our little crosshair pattern, we can't come down because it'll be stuck. So it has to be up like that. And now this 3, we've got 1 at the top of this, 1 at the bottom of this, and 1 at the top of this. And that is using up all 3 of our line segments, forcing this to come up. Now, we don't know which way this turns, I don't think. But it has to... Right, so one of the 2... Basically, if this one comes in from the left, it's going to have to come out to the right. If it comes in from the right, it has to come out to the left. So either way, something's got to come down in this way, right? 1, 2, 3. Now, but we don't know if this turns or if it does that. Because this could still... Yeah, if this came in here, this could still come up and, you know, over here or something. Now, there's only 2 in this whole row, and we're using 1 at the top here. So... But there's nothing to say that we can't go across here still, because you could come up and get out that way. Hmm. 3. So where do we need to look now? Where do we look? Okay, so we've got a crosshair thing going on over here. And right here. So we sorry about that. Interruption from the kids. Okay, so where was I? There's an X down here. Because we can't get down here to have a line segment. So there has to be an X up here as well. Okay, and that pushes this over here. Now our 6. Well, how are we looking with our 6? 1, 2, 3, 4. We're already at 5. So we can only have one more. But we don't know where that is, I don't think. Okay. So, the 5 here. So 1, 2, 3. The fourth one is going to be, one direction right here. So we only have one line segment left. So we can't go across behind the 1 because it would use 2. So that's an X. And now 1, 2, 3, 4. So the fifth one could be here or up there. Be nice to know which one, because if we knew that this turned, that would complete our 6. Two, 3. Oh wait, we have a turning thing here, don't we? Right. We have one of our our little, whatever we want to call them, our crosshair thing where it has to turn right here. So we can only have one across for this 4. There's one over here. The other 2 have to be right there. And now, right. And so we've already used 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of our 6. So if this goes across, it's going to use too many. So these have to turn and go down there. And now, again, we've got 5. We need one more. Oh, but we don't know. We don't know where that is, though, do we? Because I think... Yeah, because either one of these could turn and come down. Or neither one of them could turn and go down. Yeah, okay. One here, there's one here. One here, one here. Got a whole bunch of these turning things now. Okay, over here, the 3. Yeah, the 3. We need 3 in here. We can't use this one because it would get stuck down here. So the 3 have to actually be all 3 of those. And now our 2, we've got one here and one here at the tops of these line segments. So we can't have any more. That forces this one to turn. And now 2, 3, 4. Oh, this 4 is right here. One direction or the other. The 5th one has to be up there. And now 2, 3, 4. We've got 5 from our 6. The 6th one has to be one of these 2, which then has to turn to go down, which is going to use our single one there. This one. So there, we can do that. We don't know which way these turn yet, though, I don't think. We're getting there, though. Getting there. 6, 7. Now, this 7 is getting a little bit lower limited. What do we have here? We got 1, 2. There's kind of 3. There's one right here between these 2. You got to use one or the other. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So there's 8. So we can only lose 1. Right, and so if this turns down, we lose 2. So we can't do that. So it's got to go this way. And similarly, if we don't go across, Right, we either get both of the no, yeah, we either get both of these or neither because you can't turn and go down this way. And we can only lose one, so we have to have both of those. 2, 4, 5. That's 6. So we can only use one of these two. Okay. This now has to go over this way. And so this this could still go over here and up. Or okay, so either way, this either goes up here and over that way, or over here and up that way. But either way, it's not coming back out here, essentially. So we can block all those off. This can go a couple different ways, I think. I think this 3 down here is going to fix that for us. Can this go... Yeah, I think this could still go. I was trying to see if this line, if one end or the other had to come out the left side of this blank one, but I don't know that it does. It might have to, but I don't think I can prove that yet. Okay. This section down here. If this one ends up coming down here and connecting either there or, I mean, obviously it can't come down here. This would be, this would have nowhere to go. But if it comes down here and connects there, this one's going to have to connect to that, and you're going to have a small loop. So this top piece can't come down here, or you're going to create a small loop. So it has to come out up this way. Now that could turn, and this would connect, or it could go straight, and these could come out the top and the bottom, I think. This one is going to... Oh, we don't even know if it goes down over here, do we? Oh, we do know. Never mind. Yes, we do. The 3 here. We've got 2. The third one is the bottom of this line, so we can't use this one. So it does have to come down and up. Now... we don't know if it turns and connects there or if it comes up. Right now, it could still do that. Now, if this one comes to the right, it's going to use 2 here, which is going to use up all 3. But I don't think I can say yet whether that's possible or not. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We've got to use one of these. 2, 3. Okay, 1... we obviously can't come down here. Okay, so right here, we've already used one of these 3. If this continues down to there, it's going to use up the third one, right? So we could do that, but it would have to take both of them. If you go down 1, you got to go down 2. So that's going to use the rest of them. Alternatively, this could come over, and again, you'd have to use both of these, which would use up the 3. Now, if you turn and go this way, you're going to end up using 4. So this can't turn and go that direction, is essentially what I'm saying. It has to turn here. And now you could come down here and over, or you could come over here and over. But I think either way, this one is turning that direction. It's just which one does it connect to. So now... getting close. We're getting close. I can feel it. Still got the crosshair thing here, right? Yeah. We need in and out somehow. The 6 here, can we do something with the 6? 1, 2, 3, 4. If we go across there, we're going to use up all of our 6. If we don't go across there, then we have to use both of those. Right, so we either go those 2, or we have to do both of those. Either way, you're coming in from the right or the left and coming down right there. And then, but it doesn't necessarily turn. But we've used, right, but we've used another one of our 3 from the top. So we've used 2. So now we can't go, well, we can't go down here because you got to use at least 2. And you can't, so you can't come up this way. And you can't, if this turns to the right, it's going to use at least 2. So we can't do that. So this goes to the left. This could still come across. But this one is coming up and, whether it connects here and over that way or it connects here and over that way, this is coming out here somehow. But it could still connect there, couldn't it? And then this could come under here. I think so. Could this come across here? Something like that. Yeah, I think that would be possible. Or this could come across here. And this would go over. Yeah. I think this either comes down here or up there. And this one either comes up there or connects down to here. We've got 1. Right, 1, 2. So this can't, if this turns down, oh, but that's only 3. I think you could still do that. Or this could come up. Two, 3, 4, 5, 6. We have to use one of these. Right. Okay, the 7. We've got 2, 4. There's a 5th one here. We've already got a 6th one there. The 7th one has to be one of these 2, and only one of those 2. So we have to come into this cell and then not continue, which means it's going to have to turn. That uses up our last one up here. This now has to turn, and does that... Oh, that still doesn't tell us whether this... Because this could still come over that way, couldn't it? If this comes over and connects... Right, okay. If this comes over and connects, this will have to go down and that'll exit to the left, right? If it goes this way, then we've got a problem. We've got a problem if it goes this way. Okay. Here's the thing. We've got 4 ends here, right? 1, 2, 3, 4. If one of them comes out to the side over here, now you have 3 ends in here that have to somehow connect to something else. There's no other exit. This is the only exit, right? There's no other way. These are all blocked by these line segments or these X's. So essentially, these 4 ends have to connect to something. There has to be an even number of connections, right? You take 2 ends together, 4 ends together. You can't connect 3 pieces without having a branch. So if one of them comes out down over here, wherever, there or there, whichever one it is, this top one, this bottom one, this one up here, it doesn't matter. I'm just trying to make sure. I think it breaks no matter what you do there. Is that true, though? Because these can connect up here. Okay, I guess if this is going this way, that's the issue, right? Okay, kind of what I was saying, but a little bit different. The key is if this comes in, we've got one thing coming into this space. We've got two things coming into this space. If this one also comes in, you now have three lines entering, and there's nowhere to. So essentially, if this comes across the top, this one now has to enter and exit over here, and you can only get one. You can't come in and back out over here. Ultimately, we can't go across here. That's what I'm saying. This has to come over here and down. And now 2, 3, 4, 5. The sixth one is gonna be over here somewhere. This has to connect to one of these. Something has to. If this goes here, it goes like that, and this one is trapped. So we can't do that. So this has to connect up there. This has to connect there. This has to come back out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, we've used all our 7. So this could still. If this comes down and connects here, then this thing is trapped. So this has to come up that way, which then means these have to connect. This has to go this. Oh no, that can't go that way. Uh-oh, what'd I do? What'd I do? Uh-oh. Oh no. I did something wrong. Okay, let's go back. We said this couldn't go, because this either connects. If this comes across here. Oh, right. No, okay. I can't say that yet. What I said was if this came across here and this one came in from the left, it would cause a problem. But this could come across here and this doesn't necessarily come in from the left. This could connect right, right here. So we actually can't say that. Okay, but let's look back over here because I think we have the same problem. If this comes down this way, then this has to connect and that has to come out there, right? If this one comes up this way, right? So essentially, this can't connect that way is the thing. I think. Is that true? now I'm losing my mind. Okay, if this one comes down here, this has to come up there, and this one would come out that way, to the left. If this one comes up here, it doesn't necessarily have to connect there, though. It could come back this way, couldn't it? That's the key thing. So what do we... Oh, okay. Now that I spent all that time proving something that's not true, and then disproving it, where should I have been looking? I feel like we're right at the end, and we could just finish it off. This could come up here, and this would go that way and over. Over here, this could be 3, yeah. 1, 2. We know this one has to turn. And it's going to have to use both. I mean, so when I drew this line in here and then it broke things, I'm tempted to just use that to know it goes the other way. But don't really like doing it by trial and error if I can help it. 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we already know this comes in one way or the other. 2. Okay, here we go. We've got one up here, one right here, because this has to turn. We can only use one more of this 3. So if this turns to the right, it's going to use 2. So this has to turn to the left. This turn to the right. Okay. That's something. Now, um, 1, 2, 3. So this has to connect to one of these. It goes here and up, or if it goes here and down, I think either way works. Now, does this... So, we've got it down to kind of like 2 possibilities in every spot. But... Oh, yeah. Okay, right here. So this one comes down. Whether it connects here and comes underneath or comes down and over, one end of this one has to come to the left. And where is it going to connect to? It's got to connect to there. Which gives us that. That finishes off our 3 for this column, which then means this one can't come this way. It'll get stuck. So it's got to go that way. That is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5, 6. Yep, okay. Now this one can't turn that direction. It's got to go here. This now has no option but that. Now this one can't turn that way. There. And just like that, it's all falling together. 1, 2. We need one more down here. It's got to be there. Right here. So these 2, we can't create a small loop, so it's got to go that way. This one down here. And there. Oh no, what'd I do? Oh, I was like, I didn't see the finish thing. Okay, because it's not finished. This 3 is done, so this has to go this way, there. Complete. There we go. That's what I wanted to see, the complete. Okay, all right, 41 minutes. That was definitely tough. You were right. Difficult indeed. Thank you, Pullman Poppins, for recommending that one, and thank you, FZaz, for creating that puzzle. I like that description. Tough but beautiful. Man, it was weird because I felt like sometimes you have a puzzle where it's really hard to get started, some sort of a hard break-in, and then it just kind of all falls together after that. And it wasn't like that. I had kind of some momentum at the beginning, and I was kind of stuck at one point, but it was more my own fault. It wasn't because there was some weird thing you had to, like in Sudoku, when you have to find a swordfish all of a sudden in the middle of the puzzle or something. But, or some weird application of set theory or something. There wasn't like a spot. I was just not seeing what I needed to see. Partly because there was just, so many different clues. But I just wasn't seeing the thing over here. You just got to know where to look. So cool puzzle, a lot of neat logic, a cool application of kind of the same logic used in multiple places. That was neat. All right, I enjoyed that puzzle. Thanks for the recommendation. If you guys enjoyed this puzzle, let me know in the description below. No, in the description. Why do I keep saying that? This is the second video in a row I've said description. Let me know in the comments. I leave things in the description. You guys leave things in the comments. Let me know in the comments below if you like this puzzle, if you have other suggestions for puzzles you'd like to see in the future. And I'll see you again soon with another puzzle. Thanks. Bye.